Last week, a new beginning, a desperate plea for friendship, a return not to wholeness, but to a self fractured into many pieces, a conflicted self, a troubled self enduring troubling times. This week, a return to tradition. The gray cumulonimbus clouds have given way to wispy cirrus clouds, indicating a return to spring and good times. Are there hopeful days ahead, or just more of the same? Let's get to the action as they look to be gearing up on the first tee. Hello, friends, and welcome to a tradition unlike any other. It's Saturday morning nostalgia, only on YouTube. Eventually going to be on Twitch. Today we're going to be checking out a couple of golf games. This is Neo Turf Masters, developed by Nazca, makers of Metal Slug, and a little lesser known game known as, well, here it's called Big Tournament Golf in the West, in the United States, as it were. So before we start here, I gotta suck on Mom's tit. Oh yeah. Oh, that zero sugar cherry Coca-Cola, that first sip, that's the best sip. So as you can see here, we have six golfers we can choose from. I'm going to choose the German Kraut shot maker. I'm going to be role-playing as Phil Mickelson here. Phil Mickelson, of course, a very reckless golfer. That's what I find so entertaining about him. He's recently come under scrutiny because he no longer really, well, I don't know if he really still golfs for the PGA, but he golfs for this alternative golf promotion now called Live. Let's see the first shot's gonna have us here. Oh, right down the middle of the fairway. That's we'll take that. Straight as an arrow, as they say. And we're gonna ease off a bit, but we're gonna give it a little top spin, see if that can get on. Oh, that's short. So yeah, Phil Mickelson is part of, Phil Mickelson was my favorite golfer in the early 2000s, not Tiger Woods. I was a huge Tiger Woods fanboy at first, and he's the reason I got into golf. And I know the classic, a lot of people like to say watching golf is like watching paint dry, which you don't understand about like the early 2000s when Tiger Woods was huge. It was a huge fan deal, and it was fascinating. Like, we had a Michael Jordan in golf, and it wasn't Happy Gilmore. It was this straight-laced, mostly Republican-leaning black man. I know Tiger Woods refused a massive offer from Live Golf to I'll look at the amount of spin I put on this one here. Oh yeah, that's on the green. That's about a 3-footer. As Johnny Miller said, there's nothing worse than a 5. Well, that was a 3-footer, but we'll get back to it. Phil Mickelson was my favorite golfer because he was like the only guy in the early 2000s who, it was like Tiger's closest thing to having a rival. And Tiger Woods has won 15 majors. He's in second. Jack Nicklaus, of course, holds the record for most major tournaments won, which is 18. Tiger will probably never beat that record. He won one major post catastrophe, post all of his back surgeries and post all his the sex scandal stuff. And I don't know, I can't remember the name of this documentary, but there is a documentary I think that HBO released a few years ago where it was very sympathetic towards Tiger, and it kind of just chronicled the emotional abuse he received from Earl, his dad, growing up. and kind of like these just impossible expectations. And his dad was like a sex fiend himself. And it's been a while since I've seen the documentary, but I would definitely recommend it. You don't have to be a golf fan. You could just be like, there's something fascinating to the Tiger Woods story. And it did start as like this incredible triumph, like the first black man to make it in golf, like, which has been universally recognized throughout the years as like, an enterprise that is like extremely white. And like, not only did he come in, but he was like hyped from the beginning, and he like lived up to the hype, similar to LeBron James, where he just like he dominated in his like late 20s and early 30s, winning, like 15 majors. Well, he won 14 during like his first run, and then his post-catastrophe run, he was able to win one master tournament in 2019.
Penalty for over par.
So this is Neo Turf Masters is probably my favorite. I don't know if it's my favorite golf game. There's two games we're going to be playing on today's stream. And they couldn't be more different in certain respects. Like, Neo Turf Masters is the quintessential arcade golf game. Like, look how beautiful this looks for 1996. And just like the little cutscenes here, like me hitting the ball into the bunker. It feels so cinematic, and it kind of sucks that there's like not a career mode in this game. Like, it just like it's purely an arcade game, and I would love to play like this is another game like the beat 'em ups, where it would be great to play this with somebody else and just have like an 18-hole like match play duel. Oh, come on, get in the hole. Are you kidding me? Like, this game is so fucking unfair when it comes to, like, look at that, par 5. And this guy's supposed to be a big hitter, and I'm supposed to be taking advantage of these par 5s and, like, trying to get eagles. Good luck trying to get a fucking eagle in this game. Are you fucking kidding me? It's a very beautiful day. I'm in metropolitan Detroit area. It's early April at the time of this recording. The Masters tournament is happening this weekend, a tradition like no other. That's a lovely drive there. We got about 79 yards to the pin. Let's take out we got to hit our sand wedge here. But remember, this is our Phil Mickelson. He's a big hitter. We don't want to overshoot the green here. So let's see. We'll get a little backspin on that. See, we want that to drop. Get in the hole. Get on. At the risk of sounding very racist, I have to do this. On the green. I gotta cut that. It's yeah. People who like love my Ada Wong video are really gonna be disappointed in me for that. I know. I can't help it though. Like, she is so. Her commentary in this game is so brutal. The the voice announcer who keeps taunting you. I keep missing all of these. Are you kidding me? Double bogey. Farts.
Penalty for over par.
So Liv is. So you think of like wrestling, like the top 2 wrestling promotions in the world. Of course, number 1 is the WWE, who has completely monopolized wrestling. And then number 2, which was a promotion that was created in 2019 and stars like a lot of like former WWE guys and a lot of like independents that never made it big in WWE. Of course, I'm talking about AEW. So like the PGA Tour or the PGA, I don't know like how progressive they are. It's a primarily like golf is still like a primarily white sport. Even though I do find it fascinating, but there's something to like Live Golf's alternative style. They do two things differently from the PGA. They have like this like very white sounding club music kind of playing loudly over like these speakers while the golfers tee off. So like PGA Tour, it's just complete silence, and if like anybody even utters a single word in the stands, they will be reprimanded, they will be scolded. Like Tiger Woods has been infamous for this. He'll get like he'll throw a little hissy fit, like he'll be on his backswing and then he'll stop it, and then he'll glare in the general direction of the fans because somebody like coughed or something or cleared their throat. Are you f***ing kidding me? In the water, in the drink? You know, maybe don't aim that way, Scott. Maybe don't act like Phil Mickelson and act like Timmy Toughnuts, like you're gonna take. Yeah, you better you just lay it up. Just lay it up like a conservative. That's what you're gonna do here. We're gonna lay it up like a conservative with his khaki pants and his I don't even know, like salmon orange shirt going on there. Like what kind of, like there's something about golf that is just so profoundly uncool. Like look at this guy's getup here. I mean, he looks like a kind of an intimidating guy with like that jawline and that, but then like, oh come on, you're not gonna get in the pin. So I got another par 5 here. This is a 5-foot putt for. 5-foot putt is like having to kiss your sister when you're putting for par on a par 5. That's all I got to say about that. That's not original. That's something Johnny Miller, who is like a golf color commentator. Yes, like there are golf commentators that are like have personalities. I think like another one on the green and not in the hole. Well, at least I got birdie. How am I doing on this back 9 here? Let's see. How am I doing here on this front 9? How are we looking as we make the turn? 1 over par. We're in 21st place. And she is not having it. My narrator here. She's just letting me know I'm having not having a good day. Oh well. So let's see if we can get things see if things get any better on the back 9. Nope, we are back in the bunker, but I do love seeing that that little cinematic there. So the other thing that makes Live Golf unique to the PGA Tour is both of them have to do with obnoxious sound. So the first one is this obnoxious, like terrible club music well, not even terrible, just like mediocre club music playing. And then the other one is there is this like hype man commentator who just like kind of like screams the golfers like, oh, and coming up to the tee, Phil Mickelson. Coming up to the tee, Sergio Garcia. It's like that. It's like pro wrestling. It's like Happy Gilmore, but the least interesting version of Happy Gilmore. And it's like nothing ever happens. Like these guys don't hate each other, or if they do, like we don't know about it. It's just like their rich white man problems or whatever. God damn it, another double bogey. Oh no! I really like when he makes a birdie though. I did it. It's like taking a dump. I remember when I was very little, and I'm about to have a baby girl, and yeah, I'm terrified, I'm excited, all the usual things you hear. But when I was a little kid, when I was a young lad, and I still didn't know how to wipe my ass, I would proudly proclaim to my parents as I had a shitty asshole. God damn it, in the drink again. Like, that's the problem with this guy. He hits way too hard, so, like, you have to pull out, like, a 3-wood. Like, you can't even take advantage of the par 5s as this big hitter. Oh, I'm trying to hit this out of the water here? How is this gonna work? Oh, my God, look at that. Why would I even try that? Look, he just whiffed it. He just completely whiffed it. So I would have a shitty asshole, and then I would proclaim to my mom or dad, I win poop and I'm done. That's what the his I did it sounds like. It's like I shit in the toilet. Oh, I hit that one on the cart path. Oh, look at that. This is a really dumb story, but when I was growing up, I'm feeling very nostalgic. I mean, the channel is called, or the series is called Saturday Morning Nostalgia. After all, I grew up with. I didn't grow up having a dog, but I had a neighbor who had a dog. It was a chocolate lab named Carla, and my dad, he would whenever he would say her name, he would say Carla. And he would just gruff the first syllable, so it sounded like he was saying Cartla. So then I just started calling the dog Cartla, and then all of my friends would call the dog Cartla. And I don't know where I was going with this story. All right, so me and my dad used to play golf, and whenever one of us would hit the cart path, we would call it the Cartla path. So anytime you're golfing and you hit the cart path, just remember that. So anyway, yeah, Live Golf. It's like the lamest alternative promotion ever, and it makes me kind of want to watch the sultry tones of Jim Nantz on Sunday announce the it is a tradition unlike any other. Live Golf will never hopefully will never replace the PGA. That seems very sad. Live just seems very problematic and very Trump pilled. I guess you could say red pilled. They just had a tournament. Their big tournament before the Masters was at Trump's famous Florida Doral. It used to be called the Doral golf course. I think they used to have a the PGA used to host a tournament there. Not a major, but it was a tournament that was fairly popular. And it was always played at this one, Florida golf course. And apparently Trump bought it in 2012, and now it's financially doing terribly. Which, big surprise there. And another thing that's problematic about Live Golf is that a lot of their funding comes from Saudi Arabia, who also happens to fund a lot of WWE now. Go figure. And one of one of the main champions of Live Golf, one of the main funders on the golf side is Greg Norman, who was very popular in the 1990s. He was one of the biggest golfers of the 90s before the Tiger Woods era. He was this Australian who had his own branding. He was called the Shark, so he had all these shirts and bucket hats and hats that just had this shark logo. And I remember Jeff Gerstmann. I know I give Jeff some shit sometimes, but I love Jeff, and I will occasionally watch his Ranking the NES series. By the way, in response to the people who said TMNT 1, the NES game, is a good game, that game sucks, bro. And just take a look at Jeff Gerstmann's. I'm not basing my opinion on AVGN. I'm basing it on Jeff Gerstmann, who has that game currently ranked at number. It's in the 350 range out of the best rank in the NES games. So yeah. So anyway, Jeff was playing Greg Norman's Nintendo game, which is terrible. And somebody in the chat just mentions how Greg Norman is was the founder of Live Golf or whatever. And I remember Jeff just goes, "Oh yeah, of course. What a piece of shit." And I know it's kind of it's like kind of virtue signaling to like chastise somebody and call and like, you know, because you sound like the whole Nietzschean thing, like, oh, you're just like, if you judge somebody, you're being priestly or whatever. But Jeff doesn't do that often, so it was just like it was funny to me. Like, Greg Norman, what a piece of shit. And then he just starts laughing. I love that. So we're approaching the end here of, like, this is a very fun golf game. And I recommend it's $7.99 right now on, like, I think you can get it on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. It's part of like the Neo Geo collection. There are so many great Neo Geo games on like current day platforms. So like if you're feeling a little like down in the dumps about the current state of video games, what? That one bounced literally all the way back to the tee. So there was this game I played. The first golf game I played was like Lynx Golf or whatever like crappy PC I had growing up. I don't know what it was. I'm not a PC gamer, but every time you would hit a tree, the golfer would say, "I think I hit the tree, Jim." Very like, I don't know, Thursday afternoon type of expression. I don't know what that means, but it's like I feel like it's very like office driven. Man, I'm playing these last 4 holes like a $3 guitar. Unbelievable. This game, like, I love this game and it's a whole lot of fun, but there is some bullshit in this game. I think I'm gonna eventually do a stream where I get like really good at this game. But that won't be today. So for the commenters who make fun of me for sucking at playing video games, I would say 2015 called, and they're desperately looking for you to make fun of the guy who played Cuphead poorly. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that, because buckle up, because I will not be playing any better. In fact, that like motivates me to like play, like purposely play bad just out of spite. Okay. So yeah, Neo Turf Masters, great game. But now we're going to switch it over to a little game I like to call Golf Story, which was released in 2017, which was an incredible year for video games. There's been a lot of like good low-key years over the past decade. 2017 is like high-key the best of the last 10 years, I would say. Shit, you had Resident Evil 7, Persona 5, Nier Automata, The First Horizon, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, What Remains of Edith Finch. I'm missing a ton here. And of course, Golf Story, released exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. this might be my favorite golf game. Like this is such a it gets a bit long in the tooth at times, and it goes a little over the top with like being like it's a little too hangouty, I think. Tim Rogers once called this game the Seinfeld of video games, or almost the almost like Golf Story is almost the Seinfeld of video games. I think that's what he titled his Let's Play video on Golf Story. So this game, like, it's paced phenomenally well. Like, it's a little too long, I would say, but there's like you can replay all the courses. There's such great variety in the courses too, and they're ridiculous. And I'm definitely going to return to this game on later streams. Oh, by the way, this is a 8-year-old game as of this recording. So if you think we're just going to be playing like old games from the 80s and 90s, you got another thing coming, bub. We're going to be like, I have nostalgia for 2017. So the rule is if I have nostalgia for a game, I'm going to play it. Even though I didn't have any nostalgia for, Turf Masters, because I literally played it for the first time last year. But it was made in 1996. So come on, cut me up, break. So Golf Story is a game where I skip this part because it's the beginning of the game, but you are a boy who your dad's like really into golf, and you like golf with your dad, and you're like your dad is like trying to get you. Your dad has like a very vivid imagination where he's like, imagine you're on the final hole of some like major tournament, you're about to win a bunch of money, but then there's like the pressure of all these geese around who are like the stand-in for the crowd, and then like so the father is just like putting all this like pressure on the boy, on his boy to sink this putt like he's in a big tournament or whatever, and he puts all this pressure on the child, and then it goes to like 20 years later, and now this child has grown into like a young adult man who wants to like become a great golfer. So like you go to, so you have this guy named Coach. This is the first. There's like 8 courses in this game, or 8 chapters, or 8 levels, whatever you want to call it. So then you get like this abusive. Well, we'll talk about Coach later, but so this is Teddy's challenge. So I love this. This game has a mix of like match play style versus modes. I would say my biggest criticism of the game is like it doesn't lean enough into like the versus mode, because like Tiger Woods 2004, like PGA Tour 2004 had great match play modes where you would face one other golfer, and then you would see each other, like you would take your shot and then the AI would take their shot, which is like a very, I think that is like the preferred way to do a golf game versus like the way, like even though Neo Turf Masters is amazing, yeah, it's like it doesn't have the match play feel, so it feels like it's kind of missing something there. It feels like it's a much lonelier game if you're playing it by yourself, whereas like Golf Story doesn't feel like Golf Story feels very immersive as a single player experience, and I think it takes like the best of like Mario RPG and makes like a really worthwhile story out of it. And it's got this like top-down isometric perspective, and it's much easier than Neo Turf Masters. Like you see here, I just made an eagle. Even like this first course isn't supposed to be that much of a challenge because it's the first course in the game. So when that journalist died, this is the last thing I'll say about like Live Golf and Greg Norman. When there was like that whole hullabaloo when that journalist got executed in Saudi Arabia a couple years ago. I can't remember his name, his full name. His first name was Jamal. And this was around the time Live Golf was like getting started, and somebody asked Greg Norman his thoughts about, making an alliance with Saudi Arabia, with the Saudi government, in order to fund this alternative golf promotion. And he said like, well, we all make mistakes. Like, yeah, we just murder people trying to like expose how corrupt people are and how corrupt governments are. People make mistakes, and then they end up getting murdered. So like, which one is the mistake? It's just like, Completely tone deaf, sociopathic, like rich person. I remember like thinking Greg Norman was cool in the 1990s. Like imagine thinking Greg Norman is cool in 2025. Like you are definitely going to be labeled some kind of way if you think that. You know, our main character here, our antagonist is, or our protagonist is saying, I think that went a little left. So, yeah, I think I can only aim this just at the bunker there. I got all of that one. Made $2.70 off of that swing into the projector. And just like, this game is weird, but I like that about it. It's not like hilarious. It just like, it has like this feel good dialogue to it where it's just like, it makes you like, I don't watch golf really anymore. But there is something to like golf games. Like I love, like I'm kind of like over sports in a sense. Like I'll watch the Detroit Lions if they, they make the Super Bowl. I'll watch their playoff run. Probably won't watch a lot of the regular season run. And then I'll watch like the Pistons are doing really well right now. Like they're in playoff contention. They went on like a huge winning streak. And I used to be a huge Pistons fan. I used to be a huge sports fan. But I'm not really anymore. Like, but I do love playing sports games. Like golf games are some of my favorite games. Like NBA Jam Tournament Edition, like, the NES or the SNES and Genesis era. Yeah, even like I'm not an NHL guy at all. I'm not a hockey guy, but NHL 94 and NHL 96. Shout out to what is that movie called? Players, the one with Vince Vaughn and the guy that looks like a foot. They play NHL 96 in that game. I believe it's 96. And then Mallrats, the second of Kevin Smith's Askew Inverse trilogy, or however you say it. What is his name? Jason Lee, the My Name is Earl guy, plays NHL 94 in that game, and his like girlfriend dumps him. Shannon Daughtery dumps him as he's playing NHL 94 in his parents' basement or whatever. I think it's it's some kind of basement. I mean, that was the 90s, man. Oh, man. Mallrats, like, I don't know. Say what you will about Kevin Smith. Oh, man. I love those movies. Like, they're such... Mostly because of the nostalgia. Like, they're such 90s movies. I was, like, unfortunately born during that time where, like... I watched Clerks later, but I watched Mallrats in 95 when it came out. And I remember it just like, I didn't think it was like that funny, but I mean, obviously I did as like a child who was like getting introduced into like, edgy humor or whatever. I have to hit the cartlet path here. I love this stuff, like how this game, you have to bounce the ball. Like you do this tutorial where you have to bounce the ball off the cartlet path, and I do a terrible job doing that. It's very difficult because you have to like enter into precision mode, and I don't know how to do that, but I think, well, let's see if I figure it out here. So there's like these little challenges / side quests you can do that earn you more money and experience, and you don't have to do them. That's why they're side quests. So let's see if I can bounce this off the cartlet path here before we play a round of 9 at Well-Worn Grove. Let's see what we got here. He's gonna hit that one. Oh, it got right in the middle. Success. She says, maybe I'll go watch some more tutorials on the computer. And then, like, she spends the next... I remember I find her in... I think it's in this building here. well, it's not the pro shop because there's another area called the pro shop. This is like, I don't know, some kind of like school where she's just on the computer obsessively, like, you know, she's into the digital world. So we come back to Coach, who is being a complete dick to us, does not want to train us, and, you know, we're trying to prove ourselves to our new daddy figure here, and being like, hey, look, I completed all these side quests. I played better than all of these people, you know, at Well-Worn Grove, so you got to take me on as your coach now. And he's just admitting he's, you know, on the back nine of his life here. He doesn't have time to waste on another. He's been very black-pilled by all these students who have no drive and they just give up. And a little bit of manipulation there from our main character. Fine, I guess I'll just do it by myself. And then that's when Coach is like, all right, play a round of 9 at Well-Worn and show me the scorecard. And no, I'm not going to become your coach, but I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look. I think this writing is like, especially for a video game, it's like, oh, here's, I don't know her name, but, you know, there she is there just on the computer, which is a nice touch. Very hard to evaluate a game the year, even a couple years after it comes out, to like know whether or not it's going to stand the test of time as a classic. Golf Story's been out for 8 years now, and I would like to say, like, this, from what I've played of this game, returning to it after first playing it 8 years ago, I would say this is like, if you grew up with like the Mario Golf RPGs or Mario World Tour, or even the newer one on Switch, which is not a bad game, but you want something a little more single player, like, you will love this game. It just doesn't have, like, you know, the Nintendo branding, which I'm actually, like, that's one of the reasons I love this game. I like something about the Mario games I don't like playing, because it just seems way too, it's like it's too much over the top. It's why I don't like love Mario Kart that much. It's like I'm kind of sick of these mascot characters, you know what I mean? You know, there's going to be somebody in the comments saying, you know, but whatever, like, fuck you. We're having fun here. Like, oh, I just, this is what I love whenever you, like, check somebody. It's like, well, I was just using my First Amendment right. It's like, yeah, bitch, so am I. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, I guess. I mean, I do care about hurting people's feelings, but also, like, people who, like, send trolly, hate, like, resentful comments. Oh, I'm just playing like absolute garbage here, just taking my my time spent on Neo Turf Master and just transplanting it right perfectly into Golf Story here by 3-putting that hole. I don't know, if you send resentful trolling comments, I don't even know if they're trolling, because, like, I feel like there's a try hardness there. Like, if you send somebody, if you send a content creator a comment like, oh, you're playing sucks, or like, if you say something like where you're just like being openly hostile, which I guess is different from like critiquing, I think that is just like desperate try hard simp energy. And I feel like there's like this kind of new, I don't want to get into it. Maybe I'll get into it next week when I have my first guest on the show, which I'm very excited about, but I won't spoil the surprise. What? Why did I use the sand wedge here? Because I'm trying to do too many things at once. I'm trying to record live and do this, and now, oh yeah, and these like moles here, this is also a really nice touch in this game. If you hit the ball into that red circle where the moles are, they will take the ball and they will move it into a very inconvenient place. So if you like hit it, they'll like, you can hit a perfect shot down the middle of the fairway, but if that's like a mole area, they will pick up the ball and like put it in like a sand trap or whatever, which is like a real dickhead move, which I really appreciate. So I was having a really easy go when I had that like little 3-hole side quest rivalry, but now it's like, now it's on. I'm playing like I'm in the like the last day of the tournament on a Sunday. See, here I go. I hit the mole. He puts the ball farther up, but he does put it in the bunker, which is going to make it much difficult to hit the second shot. Now, this game is much friendlier in regards to like hitting out of the rough and hitting out of the bunker. It's much friendlier than like something like Neo Turf Masters, which is absolute. Like Neo Turf Masters is already an insanely difficult game, and on top of that, it like, it really penalizes you when you hit the ball into the rough or in the sand, because remember, like, you see the meters of like the room for error is so small when you hit into a bunker. Like you have to, like, you saw when I hit the ball out of that lake, or tried to hit the ball out of the lake, like it's next to impossible. So the game really penalizes you for like not keeping the ball in the fairway. Whereas like Golf Story is pretty lenient. Like, see there, I hit like a really like pretty good shot here, and I'm not playing like, I'm trying to get like my legs back with Golf Story, because I remember I got pretty good at it when I beat it in 2017. Like you see there on the bottom right, like the red dot with the golf ball, like you can like fine tune where you want to put the spin on the ball. And like once you understand that mechanic, you're unstoppable at this game, because you can just like stop the ball on a dime, or you can put top spin on the ball when you drive it, so you can drive the ball like 340 yards like Bubba Watson or Tiger Woods or John Daly or Phil Mickelson. I forgot how difficult this first. I thought this would be much easier. Seeing it's like the first level of the game, but they actually put a lot of bullshit here with the moles. Like, they are everywhere. They're infesting this course. We need Bill Murray's character from Caddyshack to blow all these fuckers up. But yeah, like you can like. I don't even know. I don't know the developer who made this game. I probably should have done my homework beforehand, but like you can tell they love golf. Like they're fans of Caddyshack. They're fans of just like, there is a chill vibe to golf, like the golf experience. Like, it is meditative, and it is something that like does cost a lot of money, and it is an extremely privileged thing. I love this screen here. Like the screen where there's like this game just does some absolutely like crazy stuff. And if I do return to this game again for another episode, which I'm pretty sure I will, there's some greens that like aren't even greens. They're just like grass, like they're rough, and you have to like chip the ball into the hole. You don't even have a putter. So I'm going to try to chip this in. A lot of the time it's your best bet is to chip the ball in rather than putting. And I didn't even mention this, but in Neo Turf Masters, it's very hard to read the green. Like, the game is already hard enough, but I would say like the hardest part of the game is like actually learning how to read the green. Really good sound effect too on with the club smacking the ball. Like this company nailed this game. I haven't played their sequel. They made a game, I think it's called Sports Story, which is came out after Golf Story, and it was like more of a collection of like it had like volleyball, I think dodgeball, more like smaller type. But it did not review well, and I don't even know anybody that's played it. But I remember like really being like really anticipating that game because I loved Golf Story, and then it came and went, and like nobody talked about it, and I think it's got like pretty mediocre reviews. But yeah, like I don't even know if I'd be interested now to like play something different. Like they nailed this aesthetic so much. I think I would honestly prefer a Golf Story 2 over whatever they ended up doing. But like I said, I've never played that game, and maybe I will at some point. I'll test it out. But that's a contemporary game. Man, it is so hard to not hit into the mole area. Like, you have to really... Oh, he did a nice thing there. He backed it up a bit, but he kept it on the fairway. I can't help myself. Like, I can't help but, like... What is that? Why do we have to do that? Why do white people have to do that? Why is it so fun? Why is it so much fun? Yeah, like the less backspin you put on the ball too, like your shots are just gonna come out hot. So to get good at this game, you really gotta like, you gotta know how to like hit precision shots. You gotta know to like put the red dot like near the bottom of the ball just to get like more altitude on on your shots, like more lift, and just so you can stop the ball on a dime, so it gives you more control of like, okay, because like one of the fun things about like the best golf games is like the math you have to do. Like Neo Turf Masters is perfect with this. Like it takes a lot of repetition and like memorization to get really good at Neo Turf Masters, because it is an arcade game that is designed to like suck up your money, like your quarters. But one thing I really appreciate about that game is it forces you to do math. And this game does too, even though it's like much more handholdy about it, where like this game will usually recommend you oh, you need a 5-iron, you're just going to use a 5-iron here. Whereas like sometimes, like how I was playing with that big hitter, Phil Mickelson, German, in Neo Turf Masters, if you hit the ball because he is such a powerful hitter, like you run the risk of always overhitting your shots. So you need to learn to do certain things, like maybe go down a club, sometimes go down 2 clubs. So then it comes a thing where it's like, okay, I'm 150 yards out from the hole. It's saying I should use a 6-iron, but this guy is like a really heavy hitter, so I don't want to like overshoot, because then the ball's going to go into the water or into a bunker. So I have to so then you have to like kind of do math, and you have to figure out where, because like every club up like every club up or down adds or subtracts 10 yards. I know I probably could have worded that better, but like hopefully that makes sense. Like a 6-iron typically will get you like, I don't know, 160, 170 yards, whereas like a 5-iron would do like 170 to 180, and then a 7-iron would be like 140 to 150, like somewhere around that range. So so you have to do a lot of math, and then you have to know like things like, oh, is your approach shot going uphill? Is it going downhill? Which like Neo Turf Masters does this thing too, where like it'll have uphill holes, but it won't tell you it's an uphill hole. It won't indicate it to you. So you have to memorize the different courses in the game, so you know which hole is coming up, and then you can like, because you saw like I hit a couple shots where like that I went right up that hill and right back down. So in that case, you have to hit like not only a bigger club, but you have to like hit it as hard as possible. Like the game, it leaves no room for error. Golf Story hits a perfect balance though, of where it's like it's just such a like, it's not too difficult, and it's pretty lenient on like I play terribly here, but I end up I think I'm gonna be okay here. I think I'm gonna be okay with impressing coach, even though I'm playing like, it's not like I'm birdieing every hole and shooting 9 under par. So yeah, I'm 2 over here. But it says success, so I earn 1050. I level up. Not the biggest fan of the font in this game. I'm not sure what font this is, but it seems a little juvenile. I wish the game, I feel like the game would be just a touch better if it did a slightly better font. Not the biggest fan of this game's font. But that Pure Strike in the corner there, in the left, where that little putting green is, I like that. And then, but I don't like this, I don't like the main font. I'm a sim for fonts. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up here, episode 2. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, if you haven't played Golf Story or Neo Turf Masters, you can pick both of them up on the Switch. The Switch 1, which I still fire up my Switch, and I still have a very good time with it. I enjoy the Switch. I think it's a great system. I mean, throw out the tariffs and all the price stuff going on. I feel like the Switch 2 is not doing enough to justify its purchase. I do want to play that new Donkey Kong game because I am a Donkey Kong fan, but I don't really care about a new Mario Kart, even though it's like open world. I'll just play Burnout Paradise if I have an inkling to play like a open world racing game. And like I said, the fact that there's Mario and Princess Peach in that game, like, and Luigi and Wario and Waluigi, like, I don't care anymore. I don't care. It's like, who gives a fuck? So yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, I'm probably gonna want the Switch 2 eventually, but right now, like, I really don't care. I feel like the Switch, it will probably go down as like, I know this is me being a real ray of sunshine, but I feel like the Switch will be the last great console. PS5, Xbox, Series X, Series S, whatever one you have, the Switch 2, like, they're just phones at this point. They're just computers. They're just like slightly worse computers. That's what consoles are now. Yeah, it's depressing, but that doesn't mean just give up. Play some fucking old games. Browse the Neo Geo section of like your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox Series X or your Nintendo Switch. And like they're pretty affordable. They're $7.99. Get them before the tariffs go up if they do go up in price. There's some great Neo Geo games on all the systems, like Neo Turf Masters, Shock Troopers 1 and 2, which are like top-down shooters in commando style. There's an elevator action. It's not Neo Geo, but you can get elevator action from Returns from the 90s for $15, which is double what you're paying for Neo Geo games. But, you know, I'd still say a steal because that game's amazing. Or you can just emulate all of these fucking games. Just get a Neo Geo emulator, play it on RetroArch. So until next time, friends, have a good one.